Good morning, Academy 55 premium members and everybody else who's watching the recording and all those on YouTube. It's David Khan here. It's Wednesday, the 25th of June 2025. It's 5 to 8 in the morning. We're looking at the EUR USD on the 1 minute time frame, following the Academy 555, the Academy 55 indicators and strategy. How are you all doing today? Well, so we have the, like I say, we have the 1 minute time frame on with the EUR USD, and I marked this area up here to show you what consolidation looks like. You don't want to be trading in those areas there. But what we'll do now, as always, we will have a look at the bigger picture. So take the indicators off, go on to the daily time frame, and take this one off. That was an old zone. And see if we can get a better picture. Now, yesterday we were the highest we've been since the 2021. Are they going to reach for that heights again with everything that's happening in the world? Euro's taking advantage of a weak dollar. Now, the dollar is fighting back, or the euro is getting smaller. But we can see we've got large areas of imbalance down here. In actual fact, they are close enough to mark up. So I'll do that. I'll mark up the nearest one. So the bottom of that wick on the red, there, that's all in balance. From the bottom of that wick there, get the right settings. So that's all in balance there. So we go over to down to the 4-hourly now, and we can see got a little wick there, like we did on the previous 4-hourly. Bit of indecision, but this is all daily in balance here, so that's needs to be filled. So we'll put it on the line chart. Now this area up here is of importance. We've got two peaks, resistance, resistance. So, and that's an old one. So from there to there, we have a kind of zone. So we'll go down to the hourly. And nothing's changed there really with this important line. And also this line here. I'll move that down a smidge. Kind of in the middle there. So we've got large imbalance here that needs to be filled. Putting the candles back on. Right, so we go down to the 5-minute, and we can see we are in a buy zone, but we've got this daily imbalance. Price loves imbalance. So are we going to be going all the way down to here into where we know some orders are for the buy zone before going back up again, even though we got a buy zone here? It could we could be collecting these orders here on that buy zone you keep seeing flashing on and off because it's wicked into that daily imbalance. It might do that again and then come back up again to fill out here. But nevertheless, we got to take the next buy. Asia stocks edge up, dollar droops as ceasefire buoys confidence. Dollar droops. So the dollar is getting stronger because the ceasefire is giving the dollar confidence. So maybe we will see the euro fall down to these levels down here. But nevertheless, we are where we are. Must admit, trading yesterday was tricky because of the nervousness in the market. You could see it. We had all this sort of carry on. And you could just the way the market was, the EUR USD and the US 100, the way they were behaving, you could sort of see the nervousness in the action. It was a very frustrating day for horizontal ray on that sell zone there. Yeah, so it was a very nervous day for the market and consequently picking trades. I tried the third time. I looked at the the US 100 at the 2:30 in the afternoon. Didn't like it, so I came back again. Usually I just walk away and come back again the next day, but I had time, so I had a look. And the EUR USD was trending a bit more than the US 100, so I did indeed have a look at the US 100 yesterday. Right, so we're into this we're on the minute time frame now. The indicator's back on. We've broken out of consolidation, obviously, and now we're trending down. But we're looking forward to taking the next buy, perhaps. Maybe going back on the 5 minute again. Maybe filling out these imbalances it made for itself up here on the 5 minute. But it could carry on down. Yes, so this is where we are. Welcome to all those on YouTube watching me on my channel. If you have any questions, there's a space you can write questions there. I'll turn on the chat for us guys here in the Academy 55 a little bit later on, but I wanted to concentrate on what's going on at the minute. So we got time now to get our MC4 up and going because we use FTMO, the prop firm challenge. for our prop firm challenge. That we know Academy 55 passes that challenge. So we're on the EUR USD. Get your trade assistant, which you'll be taught how to do once in Academy 55. Trade assistant up and running. Make sure your risk to reward is in purple, your lot calc is in purple, and you got that all important 1% for your risk. We like to keep a minimum of 2.2 pips away. So I put 22 in there, which so when I switch on the lines, oh, I got it locked. So that's floating now, so that will always be 2.2 pips away. And we are looking for the next buy because we are in the buy zone. So we've got that all sorted. But are they going to be concentrating on getting all this imbalance back to normal before doing anything else? It all depends on worldly news. There is no official red flag news in the market this morning. But as you can appreciate, things happen very, very quickly as opposed to missiles going off and all this, and the market will react. And unless you've got the news on, and watching it in live time, we won't know. So, for example, if there's a missile attack right now, the ceasefire has been broken, the market will know because all of a sudden you'll see the dollar going weak again, maybe being up here. But if we're under ceasefire still and it gives you confidence, then the dollar will be stronger and come down here. But if there's a missile attack, then it'll go back up again. So it's yeah. So in and out quickly on the minute time frame, as we always do. So really, you don't want to be holding trades for a long period in time. I mean, I have trades hour and 20 minutes in the past, but with today's conditions, you want to be looking at your initial trend down. If you was taking this sell, for example, you'd be looking at your initial trend down. But as soon as it starts doing something like that, maybe after what after half an hour, it might be prudent to get out or put your stop loss to your entry. I think would be the thing. But right now we have time to play this one.
Hi, this is Steve with a very short video to show you where to get the training for the indicators and tools we use inside Academy 55. So once you're logged into the members area, you'll see in the premium dashboard this section that's entitled Start Learning. And if you click here, that'll take you through to the learning library. Now, we'll say at this point, we highly recommend you watch each of these videos 2 or 3 times to get a full understanding of how everything works. Here you'll find tutorials on using the MT4 Trade Assistant and how to use the MT4 platform with the Trade Assistant. This is the longest video you'll find inside the platform. It's around 30 minutes long, well worth your time. Watch the video once, then maybe write a few questions down that you might have for yourself and watch the video for a second time, and things will really start to make sense. By the time you watch it 3 times, you'll fully understand how everything works. So that's the longest video. It's about 30 minutes long, well worth your time. And then you can jump into individual trainings here for how to remove indicators. These videos are just a couple of minutes long. how to move MetaTrader around like you can in TradingView, trading assistant controls, how to do back testing in TradingView, how to draw vertical lines to mark out your hour, and so much more. And by the time you watch this video or see this video, there might be other trainings in this section. But everything here is well worth your time, and you find that, as I said a moment ago, from the main dashboard in the Start Learning section. Now, one more thing just to mention here. If you're looking for anything in particular, if you come down to the support name of FAQs, click on Get Support, and in this area you'll find a detailed FAQ section, and you can come through here. For example, if you're looking for an answer to a question about MetaTrader, have a look through these, and once you click through you'll find direct links to videos that give you answers to most of the questions that we get asked on a regular basis. So hopefully you found this useful, and back to your further training.
Thank you, Steve. Right, yes, so we got it all there for us on with Academy 55, but now we're having an upturn now, so we will this is the scenario for a buy. Minimum of 2.2 pips away, minimum. It could be a lot more than that. So our 2% is there. So that's the sort of thing we're waiting for price, if indeed it does carry on up. And notice how it's equalizing all these imbalances, and we got imbalances up there as well. But is price now wanting to go to the purple line, its favorite place, the EMA 462 Fibonacci number? It sort of does like that area. So is it going to go back there again, or are we going to go down and get more imbalance? So I think it's prudent to get my MT4 version on. As you can see, I'm already ready with that. And ready to take a buy if one presents itself. We've got to wait for all these to level off. The volume ribbon, the trend line, waiting for that to level off, and also the wave. They're starting to wave up, flatten out. But all the time, depending on global conditions, the dollar might be getting, if this ceasefire holding, for example, or multiple other things as well. It all indicates to a stronger dollar, and they will want to utilize that knowledge to equalize the market, because we got daily imbalance down here. But we know we're in a buy zone. As I said, I nearly did not trade yesterday. I came back a third time to have a look. and I did manage to have a look at and it's only 2 minutes long because I sped it up. I've lost it, so that's fine. No, I haven't. There it is. So this is only 2 minutes long. Hello, Academy 55. David Khan here on Tuesday, the 24th of June. It's in the afternoon. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. Been waiting for this sell all the time for a long, long time. This is my first trade of the day. Would you believe? Patience will hopefully pay off. We'll see. And here we are. I haven't had a very good day trading wise because I've been stopped because it's all been going sideways. Very, very nervy action here. So I've had to be very, very patient. And I've got this sell now. So let's see what happens. This is me speeding it up on my editing tool. Doesn't last very long. Then we'll get back to the live this morning. I got in a bit late, really. 6.8 pips stop loss. Really, I should have been a bit more tardy and got a shorter stop loss. Yeah, I've got to be careful it doesn't bounce or break off this purple line. So I'm going to close it all here. But as you can see, it did hit the 2%. So there we go. That's me taking it. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers for now. That's what it looked like. As you can see, it went down. Anyway, so that's what happened for me yesterday afternoon. Right, we haven't missed anything. We've got a green volume ribbon now. So we are going to be putting our MT4 back on and lying it in wait for a possible buy. Things are leveling off a bit. So we just lying in wait. Yeah, US 100 at +2 when the volume kicks in is a very interesting time to look at trading. Waiting for price to go into the 5-minute zone, sell zone, or a buy zone, and then going back to the minute and using our indicators as per strategy. That is interesting as well. But I did that and I saw lots of consolidation and recognizing it. You've got to be prepared to look at the market objectively and notice all the sideways movement and all that. What makes you think you can come along just because you want to trade and all of a sudden it'll trend the way you want it to? The market will give you what the market gives you. So that's why generally I don't trade on a Monday morning because there is no volume. Generally the market is trying to work out what it's doing for the rest of the week. So I don't even bother usually. I mean, sometimes when I know I'm going to be busy later on in the week And for you guys, I will trade on a Monday morning, but it's not the best scenario, but sometimes there's less of a probability of getting a trade, but doesn't mean to say it happens every Monday. Nothing is written in stone, but you've got to look at the market objectively and try and separate that from how you actually feel, because the market doesn't care if you need a trade. If it's not going to, if the conditions aren't right, it doesn't care that you need a trade, and you've got to feel, you've got to look at it objectively and see the conditions are right for you to take a trade. So if you have to come back the third time, like I did yesterday, that's what you've got to do. It just so happened I had time that I could do that. But if it doesn't do it for you, you haven't lost any money, and that's the most important thing. Nice to see so many of our Academy 55 premium members on this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, seeing as we've gone a bit quiet, I'm going to open up the chat for our Academy 55 premium members. Of course, everybody watching on YouTube, you can put something in the chat column there and I'll get to see it later. So if you want to, just questions about what you're seeing today, please, nothing else. And I will gladly answer the questions if I can. I think while we've got this shenanigans, what I'll do also is I will play this one for you for our Academy 55 members.
Hi, this is Steve, and in this short video I'm going to just show you the settings for the Trade Assistant to make sure that you've got the minimum 2 pip stop loss on the Euro USD or any currency pair, and how you set it for if you're trading a commodity like the US 100, because the settings are slightly different. So here you can see we're on the Euro USD chart here. I've got my risk to reward on the Trade Assistant locked at 2 to 1. I've got my risk balance at 1%. Lot calculator is on, and my little purple button here between the buy and sell is also activated. So we're ready to bring the Trade Assistant onto the chart. Now you'll notice here that we've got the stop loss set at 20. That indicates 2 pips when you're on a currency pair. And we can actually change that here by typing over it. So if I type in there 40 and just tab off here, you can see now we've got a stop loss of 4 pips because we're on a currency pair. In this example it's Euro USD, but it could be Euro GBP or any currency pair. So let's just put that back to 20 for our 2 pips. We'll click off here, and now we'll just put the lines on so that you can see that is showing us 2 pips over here on the actual tool, ready to actually get involved with a trade if that's what we were going to do. But that's not what we're here for now. I'm going to click off the lines here, and what we're going to do is we're going to change our chart from Euro USD to US 100, and I can do that by dragging it onto the screen here. You'll see it now switch over to US 100, and now you can see that stop loss says 20, and that's wrong for a commodity. So what we want to do here is come in here and type 2000. This is the equivalent of 2 pips on a commodity such as US 100. So now when I put the lines on, you'll see we've got the number 2000 here, and if I just zoom around, you'll notice the 2 to 1 still applies, 2000 and 4000 here, where we've got a $1,000 trade in place risking $1,000 to win $2,000. So that's the number that you need to get your 2 pip minimum on. So the minimum number would be 2,000. You could have anything above that if you're on a commodity like US 100, and the number will be 20, which is 2 pips equivalent if you're on a currency pair such as Euro USD. Hopefully you found this useful, and thanks very much for watching.
Thank you, Steve. Great advice. So here we are. This is I'll move that along there. That's where the stop loss is going to be, anticipating the red wave to change to green. Excuse me. Price has got to come up to envelop that parallel sail, drag it down. We've already got a green volume ribbon. So let's go over to MT4. Of course, we need all that all important alert, buy alert. Right, it just flashed on and off, if you see. So this is where my stop loss is. I'm going to lock that in just underneath that. But the wave is still red. Now it's gone green, and then we got this buy alert. You follow it along. I'm going to anticipate the trend line going green, this one going green. I'm going to give it a little bit more though. I need a little bit more of a confirmation that we are indeed going to be going for a buy, because my 2% is underneath the purple line. Is price going to react off the purple line? Maybe, don't know. So I can afford to give it a little bit more. Right, I'm going to be in the trade now. 3.4 pip stop loss. I was anticipating that trend line going green, and that really could go green anytime. But that's your final confirmation. It's gone horizontal now. I might have got in too quick. Now, just here, I'd be, if we do carry on up, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I might be facing a 1% loss, because we know we were in the buy zone. So we know from backtesting this for a long time, we've got a 75% chance of a win. But that means we got also a 25%, which is pretty big odds of a loss as well. So just take it on the chin. It's a 1% loss if indeed that's what we get. So we have to accept that and act accordingly. Unfortunately, we got this one here is a bearish candle, because it opened and closed. So this is a bearish candle sign, but it's on the minute, so things can change quite quickly. But we got imbalance down here on this candle here, so this is a bearish candle sign. Unfortunately, it's a bad sign for maybe more bearish behavior. And now price could be coming down to get that imbalance right away, but maybe not, because it's only on the minute. It's not as important as if it was on like a 15-minute even, or an hourly candle. If you saw that on a 15-minute, you'd be wanting to maybe exit the trade. But because it's on a minute candle, but it looks like we probably will lose this trade, which is 1% loss, which is not a big deal. Not a big deal. Come back later on in the day and look at the US 100 perhaps this afternoon. But yeah, this candle was a bad sign for us. Unfortunately, we obviously that's hindsight now, but that's what they call a bearish, because it opened and closed within the confines of that candle there. And indeed, we are going to be out now, which is a shame, but it's the way it goes. There we go. So we have lost that trade, unfortunately. But that's not a problem. It's 1% loss. There we go. So down there. Yeah, again, this is about. So unfortunately, yeah, we are tapping into this imbalance down here now. But we are also in on the 5 minute. We know there's been we're in the buy zone, so you wouldn't want to be taking sells at this stage, because again we are going sideways as well now. So they're holding off more nervy movements, and that is indicative of the global things that we are seeing. So if anything, I was going to say, the best thing is to walk away and come back later on during the day. Yeah, that was a bad sign for us, that candle there, unfortunately, but that's hindsight. We took it on that candle where we had a nice strong move up, but in hindsight, it reacted off this line here as well, forming a new zone perhaps between here and here. And in the same juncture, I wouldn't want to be taking a sell, because, as I always said, always say, we only need 1 or 2 trades a day. We take that 1% on the chin, and so what I do now is I'll do that and then show you guys. So I get a screenshot of that, copy link, then I will go over to my journal that Academy 55 premium members will have, and they will see that I've already achieved my 10%. This is all the live trading. All the rest of it is Steve and myself have done, but unfortunately we had a loss on the demo, so I paste that link in there, and it was the EUR USD, 8 to 9 in the morning, and it was Wednesday. It was a buy that unfortunately lost. So I lost 1% of my account. So I write that in there like that. So that means now overall, we'll scroll down, That's where I achieved my target of 10%. So the rest of it is on demo. So after I achieved my target, we carried on in demo and we have now got 15%. So we got a 67% win rate on all trades. And this is my journal, and we encourage members of Academy 55 to get their own journal, which they can do by downloading this. This is on a Google Docs. And what you do is you delete all the results for myself and you put your own results in. Because as you can see, we've been doing this a long, long time, since February. Hang on, since February 24. There's all the results from February 24. And all these results are recorded. There we go. They're all recorded back through the months. Now we're on June 25, obviously. So I encourage people to look at this and get your own, make a copy of this, and then delete all this, and then you can make your own journal, which you should be doing anyway. But going back to today now, yeah, we're having more nervy action, possibly picking up more orders as they go. I wouldn't be taking that sell because we know we're in buy zone territory, and we've already lost once during this time. So I would be, if my home life and my work life permit, I will be coming back possibly later on this afternoon around 2:30. Personally, I will be doing, but or at a later time, because this is just nervy action at the moment, picking up orders. So it makes you think you can come along and it'll start trending for you, because it's best to come at another time of the day when global conditions may be a little bit better. So there we go. So we'll take that on the chin. And if my home life permits, I might come back later on. If you have to go to work and haven't got the time, well, then you come back when you have the time, because conditions will have changed, obviously, because they're not written in stone. We choose between 7 and 9 for the EUR USD because usually in a usual world, we have 8 times out of 10, in a more stable world, we would have a trending. It would trend more than consolidate between 7 and 9 in the morning, because London and Euro and European markets are just starting their day, and they know where they would like to take price until New York opens, usually. But global stuff gets in the way, and they'd rather hold, just take orders and hold until they can see a way clear of maybe the dollar getting stronger or weaker or whatever the case may be. And that's just the way it is. So with that being said, guys, I do appreciate you being on today. We'll come back again tomorrow. And like I said, I might actually trade later on today, depending on my home life, whether my wife has got something for me to do or whatever. Anyway, with that being said, I do appreciate you being on today. Let's just have a quick look and see if there's any chats anywhere around. And not at the moment. That's okay. So with that being said, guys, we'll see you all tomorrow. Have yourself a great day, and we'll come back strong again tomorrow. So thanks very much for your time, and bye for now.